Hi, I'm Kelly Power. I'm the CEO of Superannuation at Colonial First State. I've been in the role for about 3 years, and prior to that had a number of roles at CBA and at Westpac. I started my career actually in communications, so I thought I would be a writer, and I did a degree in writing, write children's books, be the next J.K. Rowling at the time, very popular, but sort of somehow found my way into financial services and then into superannuation. And it's just a part of the world and a part of the Australian economy that I love. I find it so purposeful. We get to help people to have their best financial future, to live their best time in retirement. I've seen my parents just recently retire, and the importance of their superannuation, the advice they get from a financial planner that I connected them with in managing their life savings. And it's something that's very empowering and very important. I have the privilege of looking after almost 1 million Australians' life savings, their investments, their super and their retirement assets, and it's something that I'm incredibly proud of. One of the things that always surprises me with superannuation, and both with males and females, but particularly with women, is that they don't really see it as their own money. Particularly younger women. I have 3 daughters. My eldest daughter just recently started working, and sort of this, like a thing that you have to do, signing up for super and, almost like a form to fill in. But actually, it's a really important asset. This is your money. As of 1 July, 11.5% is going into this asset. And for many women, this will be their largest asset when they hit retirement. I know for my daughter, buying a house at the moment is really challenging. I heard the other day the average age of someone buying their first property is 37. So superannuation will be a very important and very large part of her assets, probably her biggest asset. And so one of the things that I think is a bit of a misconception, or something I would encourage all women to consider, is that this is a really important part of your savings and a really important part of your future. You've earned it. Every single dollar that goes in there, you've earned it. And so just being across that and taking care of it and understanding about that, investing it appropriately is really, really important. So the first tip I would give is to just get excited about your super. I know it sounds hard when you're, maybe you're 25 and you're thinking about retirement, and that word is just, kind of hard to deal with for younger women. But actually thinking about it as an asset. So first tip, just understand that this is an asset that you own. It is a really important part of your future. So nurture it. Just be aware of it. Understand where it is. So my daughter, as I was talking about, she can see on her banking app her superannuation next to her savings, and it's something that actually she's really engaged with. She said to me the other day, I've been paid my salary, but my super hasn't come through yet. And so just starting to think about it as a part of your broad savings pool. So number 1, just understand where it is. Number 2, actually looking into it a little bit and understanding how much you might need. Now, I know it's sort of hard for people to contemplate putting money aside early into super, particularly given we know that from our membership, cost of living is something that's concerning everyone. But even a really small amount, like $5 a week, would have a material impact when you hit retirement. Superannuation is taxed effectively, so money that you put aside, the earnings on that, as they compound, are taxed at a much lower rate as if you invested outside of superannuation. So if you can afford to put a little bit aside, have a think about that. Go on to, there's lots of free tools like on ASIC's Money Smart website or the CFS website. Go on and have a look at things as calculators, how much I should save, how I'm tracking towards my retirement, for example. So get across it, understand how it's invested, ensure you have one super fund. That's another tip. I know a lot of people still have multiple superannuation funds. In many cases, you'll be paying fees on all of those separate funds. You'll have insurance that you're paying for potentially multiple times, where you can only claim on one of those policies when you need it. So ensuring that you put it all together into one fund. Again, there's some really good tools that you can find, free tools online that will help you, even through MyGov and through the ATO site, that will help you with that consolidation process. So understanding where it is, ensuring that you've got one fund, look at the nature of that fund. So look at things like the performance track record. Not all funds are equal. Look at what insurance is available to you, what support is available to you in terms of phone-based support, etc. And pick a fund that suits you and then move that money into that fund. fund. And the other one is just considering little top-ups when you can, so that, that will all add up to a significant amount of money when you hit retirement. So from a government policy perspective, I would commend the government on the steps that they've already taken. Having super paid on paid parental leave when women take time out of the workforce to take care of babies is a really important first step, and it's something that the industry has been advocating for a long time. I know when I had my first child, I was 24, I think, and at that time took 6 months off, no superannuation. So you think about the impact of that 6 months compounding over time between 24 and say 65, it adds up to a lot. So first step the government has put in place is having superannuation on paid parental leave, and I think that that's a really great step. The second is really to help women get access to more help and more support and advice. And again, the government have moved a little bit on this with what's called the Quality of Advice Review and reforms around financial planning. So I know from talking to our members, we get a lot of calls, people saying, we had a seminar the other day, I got a call in from a lady that was 60. I've got 100,000 in super. Am I going to be okay? What do I do? I'm moving towards retirement. So all of those questions require someone to have a look at her individual financial situation, understand whether she owns her own home, understand whether she's got dependents still living at home, and then help her come up with a plan. Now, that's really challenging for funds like us to do at the moment because you need to do a full advice documentation. There's a lot of work that's involved in providing that advice, and that can be costly to members. So the government are looking at ways that funds like ours can actually provide more simple help, more cost-effective help to people in those sort of situations. And it's a really important industry issue and Australian issue because we know that the people that will get the most from that help are the ones that probably can't afford it. So very important that those reforms go through. So there are a couple of things from a policy perspective. From an employer perspective, the way to kind of close that gender super gap really does come down to equal pay effectively. So your superannuation is a percentage of your pay. We know a lot of women are taking part-time roles, are taking time off to raise kids, etc. So ensuring that there is pay parity from an employer perspective and that you're really looking into those pay policies, ensuring you're encouraging flexibility for women as well, something that's very important to me, making sure I can pick up my child, I can go to sport carnivals, etc. Ensuring that you're promoting those practices as an employer is really important. And also encouraging men to take time off to take care of the babies as well. We're seeing a lot of that happen in Colonial First State. So it's really about equalising, ensuring that we've got that pay parity and that we've got those flexible policies. And I think that will go a long way to when people hit retirement to ensuring that we've got, equal superannuation balances across the genders. So we did some research recently, and over half of the women that we spoke to were not feeling confident and financially secure in the lead up to retirement. And that's something that's really concerning for us. And a big part of that is that we hear from our members, our female members, they're not really comfortable talking about finances. It's a very private matter. They get quite concerned about it. So I would absolutely encourage you to ring your super fund, to share information and to start the conversation. So get informed. Like I said, Money Smart's website, there's really easy free tools that are available. Your super fund is there to help. So find out, how much do I need in retirement? How much do I have today? And what are the simple tips for me to bridge that gap? And talk to your friends about it. Really encourage people to consider superannuation as their asset. You worked hard for this. It's your pay. It's your money. Take care of it.